All right, we're back. We got podcast with Greg and Jimmy. If you like what you hear, do us a favor, give us a like, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on X at whoyougot33. Any questions you got or things you want to hear us talk about, email us at whoyougot33@gmail.com. And please follow our YouTube channel, Greg and Jimmy, Who You Got. All right. Like I always say, Jimmy, it's always funny where we're going to start the show. I have to lead with this. I can't believe I'm leading with an amateur golf story, but this is just, this is one for the books. I mean, if you're going to cheat, Zach Holland, you're my guy. I mean, this was phenomenal. And I don't know if you read the story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. This is a tournament at the Wing Haven Country Club in Missouri. I believe it was a member tournament. They get the tee sheet. Zach here finds out he's in the first group. So he'll be teeing off first. Nobody else will be on the course. So he tells the group at the first tee, his grandmother is very sick and he might have to step away to take a call. Okay, so they play holes 1, 2, and 3. On the third hole, as they're on the putting green, he says, guys, I got to take this call. Let me play through real quick. I'll go up to the fourth hole, par 3, hit my tee shot, and take my call. They think nothing of it and say, yeah, go ahead, Zach. No problem. Go do it. Goes up, hits his tee shot. So he says, okay. And they said to him real quick, hey, how'd you hit it? He said, I thinned it. I don't know what happened. And he's pretending to be on the phone. They look around. Lo and behold, Jimmy, there's a pitch mark near the hole and the ball is in the cup. They all celebrate, hole in one. What I left out from the story is there's a big cash pot for a hole in one on 4. He just won all this cash. Gets to the clubhouse. Now, some of the older members who've been there for a while are a little skeptical of this story. In about 15 minutes, security had the footage of him showing up that morning in his car off the 4th hole, walking out and dropping a ball into the cup. He's no longer a member of the club.
It's absolutely hilarious.
I mean, if you're going to cheat, well done. Not knowing there's a camera, you're a little bit of a boob. But, well thought out plan, Zach. You got to watch out for cameras, though.
Why he would think that this was going to work is beyond me. And if you read the article, because I did, his defense was, it was just a dumb move. He never at any point points out that, there's a big cash prize for this.
Right, yeah, exactly. The article part pointed that out.
Yeah, he literally never admits to that, doesn't say it's about money. It was just a bonehead move. I don't really know what I was thinking. Now he's kicked out of this St. Louis Metro Golf Club. And it looks like an idiot. But yeah, I love it. And he said I bladed my tee shot. I can't find it.
Found it.
Yeah.
So great. I got to say, well done again, because who would have thought a Missouri country club would have made national news with this story circulating around, because they can't believe how this kid tried to pull off a hole in one to win a cash pot.
Yeah, it's certainly something else.
Look, here's what we learn. Here's the lesson you take away from this, everybody. In 2026, there's probably a camera around somewhere. So if you're going to try to do this, you really want to do a little recon and make sure there's no camera pointed anywhere near the hole you're trying to cheat.
Yeah.
That's the advice you get here on the Who You Got podcast. We're always looking out for you.
I would say that's a smart decision.
All right. I know it's a decent card. UFC, I believe it's 330 here coming up?
We have UFC 330. Sure do. You've been dabbling into the research. I'm going to actually start with you. Is there anything that you saw that you like, or you want me to just kick it off with what I like?
You can go ahead and give me what you like, and then I'll tell you. I'll just tell you one that I heard is this. Is it Eric? How do you say Eric McClunko? 235. He's one of the sharp plays I've been seeing out there.
Eric McConaughey
against Dante Johnson. So I've seen that one. Your thoughts there? That seems to be an underdog sharp play that's surfacing.
All right, let me look at the live odds on it while we're talking through it.
Plus 235.
Plus 235. So one thing I would say in this scenario is that when you have it's an odd, he's fighting, Dante Johnson's undefeated. Okay. I don't know a lot about either of these fighters, so I'm not going to pretend to know a ton about either of these fighters. But I suppose I'd probably avoid this bet. You got to think the guy that's 8-0, they're throwing, like, this is how they do it, right? They throw him a little bit of cupcake. He just won a split. I'm looking at the numbers now. He won a split decision against Cody Brundage. Brundage is a good fighter, but he's the exact same kind of fighter. He's not a cupcake. He's a tough guy, and I'm sure McConaughey is too. But, it's like, okay, that next level up competition for an undefeated fighter. I just don't know enough about these guys to make a call. But if you say McConaughey it's getting the love, then I don't doubt it. I'm just looking at the numbers. I mean, they're fighting at 185. Dante Johnson's 5'8". That's a really small 185.
Sure is.
Like, really small. So, I'm looking at his record. Yeah, he's got KOs, he's got subs, and then has that last play. He's knocking everybody out at first, and then he got that last split decision when he stepped up in competition. So that might make sense, right? He stepped up in competition. It's the first guy he didn't get out of there, and now he's stepping up again and fighting a guy that's much bigger than him. Oddly enough, I'm looking at McConaughey won a split decision against Brundage. So, yeah, I like it. I think that's good value for an underdog right there.
All right, so what are the ones you're keying in on?
So, there's one that I'm having a tough time with, and I'm only going to talk about a few fights on this card because I'm just not super excited about it. Edson Barbosa's fighting. He's 40 years old. I can't believe he's still fighting, and the fight's unbettable. It's cool to watch him because we watched him a lot when I was younger. But I have nothing in that. The Jalen Turner and Fernandez fight, to me, is really, really interesting. Fernandez only has 2 losses. Both were decisions. He has victories in multiple ways. Subs, decisions, knockouts. So he can do a little bit of everything. And Jalen Turner hasn't been fighting. He's 2-4 in his last 6 fights. So this is what I'm asking myself. Maybe you, the betting guru, can kind of answer this. Why is the line what it is? I don't fully understand. Fernandez is a plus 124 dog. And so I don't fully understand that. The rounds are 1.5, which makes sense to a point because Fernandez, most of his fights end in the first round.
Yeah, the under's juiced to 140.
Yeah, it is. So I have to tell you, I like Fernandez to win by knockout because the exact method of victory by either one is knockout at minus 160. So they clearly think somebody's getting knocked out, and that would tell the tale of the minus 1.5 rounds being juiced.
Yeah, and it seems like if it goes over the 1.5, they think Turner's going to win because if you look at the points, he's minus 3.5 and it's juiced.
So that's why I got to tell you, I think I'd bet this. I don't think I'm going to bet this fight, but I'm in debate. And if I do, I'm going to bet Fernandez by knockout at plus 250. And assume that that's how this goes because he knocks people out in the first round. Such his record says.
What is Turner by decision?
Turner by decision is plus 600. Fernandez by decision is plus 750. So they think it goes up. So
do you think if Fernandez doesn't knock him out, it goes the distance and Turner wins on points, or do you think Turner would then win by?
Clearly, that's what they're thinking. But again, I haven't watched a ton. I've seen a Jalen Turner fight. I don't think I've seen a single Fernandez fight. I was just looking at the numbers, and bad job by me for not doing a deep dive and watching some of these on rerun. I watched other fights over again that I've seen before for the other fights we'll talk about just to refresh my memory. But I don't know. And maybe it's an avoid, but I don't fully understand the line, and that's the problem. So I'm going to watch it.
What if you went? I mean, maybe you tell me. This could be a dumb way to bet it, but what if you put a unit on Fernandez by knockout and a unit on Turner by decision and hope the fight went one of those two ways? You're walking away with a decent profit either way, and a really good profit, I guess, if Turner wins on points.
It's not a bad call. Because you're getting plus money either way. And if Fernandez knocks him out, you're still up a unit. That could be a way to bet it.
I'm just curious why the Turner by decision is plus 600 and not like the second betting choice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
How many knockouts does Turner have?
All right, so let me dive into it real quick. Turner's had 15 fights. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 11 of his 15 wins have been by knockout. When he loses. Well, he got knocked out by Moicano. Bahamotes submitted him. He's lost a couple split decisions. Maybe that's why these were split decisions. And Bahamotes and Moicano are both really good fighters, so they weren't bad fights.
So I would change the way I'd play this. What did you say method of victory knockout was? Minus what?
minus 160.
I'd lay the 160.
Okay, I like that. Somebody's getting knocked out.
I'd lay the 160 on this. Maybe I'd find something to parlay it with if you don't want to get juiced. And I would say, you know what? This is probably going to end in a knockout one way or another. That's kind of what the tape is telling us.
All right, there we go. Let's let lay 160, whatever unit is, bump it up by 60%. Play it for 1 unit.
Unless you got a favorite that's an absolute in your mind, no doubter, then maybe you can moneyline parlay that method of victory with just a straight up win with one of these heavy favorites.
I mean, I don't think Edson Barboza can win the fight. I wish he could. He's just, to say he's long in the tooth would be an understatement. He's 40, which isn't really over the hill, but he's been fighting forever. I mean, I feel like we've been watching him all my life, but that you're going to lay 650.
Well, if you lay 650 with 160, you might get close to even.
Yeah, that's not a bad play. Yeah, and if Edson Barboza pulls it off, as you would say, I'll tip my cap to him. Good for him. 40-year-old pulling up.
Tip your cap and move on.
Yeah.
And the good news there is if that would happen first, so you could just rebet the method of victory if you needed to.
Let me see what it gets us to if we do the old parlay here. Boom, 1 and a 2 and 2. Yeah, minus 115. There it is. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, working it out in real time.
That's how we'll play it.
So we're gonna method of victory, knockout in the Turner Fernandez fight, and then take Esteban to win over our. Okay, cool. I like it. All right, so here's the two that I've got my eye on. It's the main two. This isn't any shock, right? And there's some good fights coming up soon on the next couple of fight nights, actually. So we will have something to talk about. We've got Roman Dolidze fighting RDR, which is very interesting because last we saw Dolidze, he didn't look like he did previous, and RDR looked like the next champ, and then has slipped since. But for this card, that's for next card. For this card, we've got 2 fights. We'll start with the co-main event, the first of the 2. Mackenzie Dern, Jillian Robertson, fighting for the flyweight title. Now, I went back and watched some of these fights. I've seen them before, but I wanted to refresh my memory. Mackenzie Dern is the champ. Tough fighter, just beat Jandiroba for the belt, beat Amanda Ribas, won 1 fight before that. She's very good. She's tough as nails. She's the champ. But I don't, just like I've talked about, like JDM and Bilal Muhammad, a couple other people, they're just not they're not legendary champions. She's got the belt, but is she that great to hold on to it? If we flip over to Jillian Robertson, she has, and by the way, before this 3-fight winning streak from Mackenzie Dern, she had lost to good fighters. Jillian Robertson is 17-8. So the record's not great, but in her last 9 fights, she's 7-2. And she hasn't lost since 2023. Now, she's beat Marina. Her last 2 fights, she beat Marina Rodriguez and Amena Lemos, which are Mackenzie Dern 2 of her losses. So in common competition, Jillian Robertson has the edge. Doesn't mean everything when you get to the actual fight. But they're both jiu-jitsu fighters. And Mackenzie Dern is very, very good. But so is Jillian Robertson. And this is where I get to the point. I'm going to lay the 180. If it's that close in a title fight, it's not a crazy spread. Mackenzie Dern's very, very good. But Jillian Robertson's a very good fighter as well. And I just don't think that there's any world which I'd lay minus 218 on the favorite. It's just not going to happen. I went back and watched the Rodriguez fight, and Jillian Robertson looked awesome. And I think she was the dog in that fight. I'm not positive, but she looked fantastic. That was a couple fights ago. I also went back and watched the fight that Mackenzie Dern had against Ribas. Great submission, got it done. But I just don't trust it. I mean, I'm not just going on gut here. I watched the fights. I'm not promising Robertson's going to win. What I'm telling you is that they're so close that plus 180 is the absolute value play here. There's no way I would lay minus 218 on Mackenzie Dern. I'm sure somebody's putting in a parlay out there and it's going to blow it up. I think Jillian Robertson wins this fight. And even if I didn't think she would win that fight, I'm comfortable with it if it loses because plus 180 is absolutely the value play here.
It looks like they feel it's going to go the distance. I mean, they have over 3.5 rounds is completely crazy juiced.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, this happens a lot of the time when you get 2 people that are in the same discipline and very good at it, and it's not striking, right? Sometimes it happens with striking because they know what they're facing in there, and they fight very I don't want to say timid, but they feel it out for way longer than you'd expect, right? When you get two great strikers in the ring, if the over under rounds is 1.5, I'm taking the over every time because everybody assumes, oh, somebody's getting knocked out. No, no, they're going to feel each other out for the first 4 minutes of the fight. The last minute of the first round, they're going to go at it, and then you just have to get through a half of it the next round, right? That you just have to hope you make it through. In this scenario, these high level jiu-jitsu girls and guys, they kind of nullify each other, right? Like they just know how to get in, get out. So it comes down a lot of the time to control or if somebody can do some real damage. So yeah, I think that tracks. I would probably lay the 220 for it to go over 3.5. But I'm not going to because I think we get Jillian Robert. I think we get her in at
Sweet.
180. I think we have a new champ.
You take the 180. What about the main event here?
The main event is going to be an excellent fight. Here's the question. Okay, Islam Makhachev is potentially the top pound-for-pound guy. Keep in mind, he was the 155 champ. He's moved up to 170. He completely dominated Jack Della Maddalena. He is one loss. His one loss was years ago. He lost to, God, I'm going to look it up because I forget. Because it was somebody you don't know, so it doesn't matter. And it was in 2015.
Well, so while you're looking at that, like when I'm looking at this spread, I'm going, all right, so the Vegas thinks this goes the distance because over 4.5 rounds is minus 175.
They do.
Plus 275, you know what, Gary, maybe not, but God, maybe you take a stab at plus 9.5 points and hope he steals a round or two, and then it would be almost impossible for him to lose on points, right?
Yeah, because if you take the points, yeah, you're fine. You win if he somehow knocks him out or something. You win your bet.
Exactly.
So if he wins the fight, it's not a bad take. I like that a lot because I was going to say I'm going to bet Ian Machado Gary. He's very good. He just beat Bilal Muhammad in a decision. He beat Carlos Prates. Now here's the problem with the Prates fight. We both watched it. We had money on Prates. He won a 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46, I think. But we all agree, and everybody saw the fight, that if it went another 30 seconds, Prates was probably going to knock him out. His one loss is to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now, Rakhmonov has been hurt since that fight. He's been hurt since 2024. He was the top contender in this division. He can't get hell. Every time he does, he blows his knee out in training. But he lost a decision to Rakhmonov 47-48 on all three scorecards. It was very, very close. This guy's very good. And Islam allegedly looks big now and is big but Ian Machado Gary is a natural, he's 6'3" fighting at 170. He's a much bigger human being. Islam is 5'10". So he's going to be larger. He's a good jiu-jitsu fighter. Islam is a stellar wrestler. But I'm taking my original case. I'm going dogging again. I think Ian Machado Gary gets it done. I don't think he holds onto the belt for a ton of time because this division is absolutely stacked. It's unbelievable who's in this division. It's, in my opinion, it's the most competitive division in the sport, and I don't think there's a close second. Yeah, so it's going to be a back and forth battle.
I think a smart way to play it. I think the way I'm going to play this, based on your advice, is I'm going to take both dogs. Go 1-1. I'm well ahead of the game at plus 180 and plus 275. So I'm going to do that and hope that people who are, bridge jumping and taking the money line parlay here, it blows up on them in these last two fights. That's what I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to back it up with a small slice of Gary plus the 9.5.
I think it's a great idea. I like the Gary plus 9.5.
So that's how we'll attack that. All right. That's our UFC. So hopefully we can continue the winning streak going here for you, make you some units. But let's go to the bases real quick. Sox stabled themselves today, but they went on a little bit of a skid. Still not worried. I mean, the Rays are just, the Rays running off 9 in a row here, going 9-0 on a road trip. I think that all but locks up the 1 seed in the division for them. You agree there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're getting caught.
Nope.
But the Red Sox stabled themselves. The Brew Crew is a little concerning. They dropped 3 in a row to the Pods, and the Cubs are right on their heels now. So do you think the Brewers turn it around, or do you think there's a world where the Cubs actually run them down and the Milwaukee now becomes a wild card?
No, I think the Brewers do it. Look. There's ebbs and flows of the season, like we talked. Even when we were talking about the Sox, they clearly put themselves in position to get into the dance. But the law of averages are going to set in at some point, right? Nobody goes on runs like that and just keeps that up. You're going to hit a wall. So I wouldn't be concerned if I was a Sox fan. At the same token, I wouldn't be concerned if I was a Brewers fan. Now, if this 3-game losing streak turns into 6, then I might be concerned. But if they go 2-1 or they win 1, drop 2, I still wouldn't be overly concerned. Cubs are getting hot. They're getting soft at the right time or at the wrong time, but it's not the wrong time. We still have what 35, 40 games of baseball to play.
We do. I think the concern, if I'm a Brewers fan, is you couldn't lose 3 to the Pods. You had to at least take 1, because now you're going to the Dodgers, who just went on their skid, and you can't. You're gonna have to take. You're gonna have to. You can't get. You're playing a 4-game set. You really need to go 2-2 here against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and like to your point, right? If my argument holds any weight, and there's ebbs and flows to this thing, it would stand to reason that the Dodgers are going to get hot, and it's the wrong time to face them. But if they can go 2-2 against the Dodgers, is it a 4-game set, not a 3-game set?
It's got to be a 4-game set because it's starting on a Thursday.
But yeah, so yeah, if they go 2-2, I wouldn't worry about it.
It's
If they go 1-3, I'd worry a little. If they get swept out of this one and it's 7 straight, then now it's time to panic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Dodgers have now won 4 out of 5 after that crazy skid they went on. So, yeah, if I'm the Brewers here, you got to go into this mindset going, we need at least a split. At least a split. So, let's see. I'm trying to see what so it's 4 against the Dodgers. Then they go home to, the Brewers have a little bit of a run here. 4 at the Dodgers. They come home. Not that Seattle's great. Seattle's one of the most disappointing teams, in my opinion, this year. But they get 3 against Seattle at home, 3 against Atlanta at home. Then they get a little bit of a break, no offense, with the Mets. A little bit of Texas. And then they get a 4-game to end August and start September. Huge 4-game series in Chicago. They got
that'll decide it right there.
They got 7 more games with Chicago, and they play those 7 games in a 10-day span.
So if they don't win it, they'll have nobody to blame but themselves, right?
Sure, they definitely
controlling your own destiny
100%.
as much as it can get.
So, and then I wrote down, just what happened to Seattle in the big dumper this year, man? Like, he came out and said, "I suck." That was his quote this week.
He only had 1 great year, right? Did I miss something? And he's been great for years.
He had 1 year. He hit 60, but he hit 60 homers last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now he's hitting 159.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. More typical of a catcher, than before, right? That was why it was a big anomaly.
And they have him DHing.
Oh wow, do this? Yeah, this is how much I pay attention to.
Well, he's still catching. Don't get me wrong, but they do have him DHing now and again. But he's never hit for a high average ever. But the home runs were there. He had 27, 30, 34, and 60, and he had 100 and 125 RBIs, 24 and 25. Now this year, he's got 12 homers, 43 ribbies, and literally is hitting 159.
Pretty bad.
And it's not a Pedro Serrano here where he can't hit the curveball. It's the fastball. He can't catch up to high heat. A high fastballs over 95 is his biggest issue this year. So he just can't hit. He can't hit high fastballs anymore. So it's not like he's old. This is only his 6th season in the league. I don't know his actual age, but it's only his 6th season. He is. Let me bio him real quick. Come on, they should always put the age here. In football, they do this. He was born in 96, so he's
29.
29. They're going to be 30 in October. November. So, he should still be in his absolute prime. It's a huge fall from grace. This guy was 2nd in the MVP voting last year.
Yeah, he's right there.
So, yeah. I'm just looking at these things, 150th in batting average. This is the reason the Mariners can't win. If he's not hitting, the offense is completely different. I think that's why we're seeing them out of contention right now.
Yeah, they're cooked.
All right. Let's move to the W, believe it or not, real quick. Because I know you follow it. I bag on it a little bit here just to have a little fun. Honestly, you know what I wish? I wish the drama would just stop and we could just focus on basketball, because the play has been pretty good, I must say, this year. The games I watch, play's been pretty damn good. But oh my God, the storylines are always the drama that's going on in the background. With that said,
What did I miss? What did I miss here?
well, just every game, there's always like a backstory of who's fighting with who and who got fouled hard. Like, it's just like, can we just focus on the game? But my question for you is, who do you think takes this thing? Is there a future play we should be on?
All right. Well, let's look at the futures and let's look at the
Do you think the Fever have a chance at 10-1?
I think you got to think they do, because go ahead.
I like Golden State 8-1. Curious what your thoughts are there. Every time I watch them play, they're good. Look, I know the Lynx are the classier. Did they win last year, or did they lose in the finals?
I believe they lost. Am I crazy? Didn't Vegas win again?
Aces won again. I can't remember if the Aces won again.
I thought they did. New York was 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember here.
All right. So it's the Aces who beat the Lynx, right? Because I know the Lynx were in the finals, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
So the Lynx are basically.
My memory in general isn't great. I can't remember what.
Who's it?
Yeah, getting old here. I know the recent happenings. No, look, the Fever have a chance, and to people that don't watch a lot of their basketball, which it kind of includes me because I don't get a ton of Fever games on around here, but it's not just Caitlin Clark for casual fans. I mean, Aaliyah Boston is fantastic. She's a very good player, averages 17 points a game. They've got Sophie Cunningham, who's kind of coming into her own. She's been around for a while, but she's playing good basketball.
Yeah, I love her. She's fantastic.
Yeah, like they've got people outside of just Caitlin Clark, but Caitlin Clark is really, really good, and Aaliyah Boston is an unbelievable basketball player. So I think at those odds, it's worth a roll of the dice. Outside of that,
I like Golden State. I think 8-1. Every time I watch a team play, they look good.
Yeah, I haven't. I really have caught more Liberty games than anything else. They're not playing really well at this point, but they're still in it, and they've got very good players. And for their record, they're only 6 down the board. I like the Liberty 13-1 as a homer. Very good team, but I'm sure I'm wrong there.
I think the Liberty is the last of the teams that have a chance. If you look at the board, it's basically telling you that, because then it falls off. There's no one down the board you would ever even think of playing, right?
No, I don't think it, because none of them are even going to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be pretty much locked at this point. So that's just my opinion. But yeah, I mean, Atlanta, no. I mean, it's tough to say Vegas, but they're the second betting favorite. I think your Golden State pick makes sense because you're getting a little more value there. I'm not betting Atlanta. I'm not taking Minnesota at even money. I got to tell you, I like the Fever and the Liberty down the board as well. Like, I think it's worth a half a unit on each one at 10-1 and 13-1.
All right, Jimmy, we got a guest to join our show. Like, we don't really get many guests here in Lifetime.
All right.
We're going to bring in our buddy Chris to join the show and give us maybe a more youthful perspective on the league and the NFL. Tell us what we're missing as a couple of old guys. So, all right, let me bring Chris in here. Chris, welcome to the show.
Chris, what's good, man?
Good. I love the background already. But
thank you.
Let's give a little background here. Chris is bringing a little youth to the show. He's about to go to St. John's, so maybe he can give us some Big East perspective later in the year.
All right.
Of course.
We just started talking about the W. Just curious. Do you follow it? Do you like it? Is it a good product?
I follow it a little bit. I like the Liberty. I'm big on the Liberty.
All right, there you go.
Of course. I do like the Fever.
All right.
Not the hugest Caitlin Clark guy.
Me either.
Kelsey Mitchell, definitely a baller. Aaliyah Boston, baller. And I mean, the Sun this year. Don't really watch them because they're not
because
they're
terrible, Chris. You could say it on the show.
They suck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think bright future for Layla LeCon.
Okay.
Right.
So
very bright future.
From a betting standpoint, who do you think takes this thing? Do you like the Lynx as the favorite? Do you think the Aces have a chance to run it back?
I think the Aces definitely have a good chance, but I think the Lynx are the favorite with Olivia Miles and Nafisa. I mean, she just came off of injury, and then you have Olivia Miles, who is definitely front runner for Rookie of the Year.
See, Chris should be on all of our WNBA picks. He's got more knowledge, more depth than we do on this one, so we appreciate you.
100%.
Yep.
100% there. All right, that's enough of the W. Now let's get to the NBA for a sec. There's a couple things here that we got to go over. First, a business thing. I cannot believe the Lakers sold again within 10 months. This guy made $2.5 billion in a 10-month investment.
Yeah,
he bought it for 10 and then sold it to the Disney guy for 12.5.
That's why the rich get richer, because it's 20%, which is a hell of a gain. Most people don't get 20% in a year, but when you're dealing with $10 billion and it turns into
12.5 billion.
Yeah. This is unbelievable.
And don't forget, that's only for 83% of the team. So the actual evaluation of the team at 17% because the buses still own 17%.
Mm.
I mean, that's
a hell of a deal.
Did the owner make a good move now that LeBron is gone? Is my question.
I think he made a good move because he made $2.5 billion in 10 months. And if he's a business guy, which he is, how do you turn that down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, Chris, I see your point. If LeBron was 34.
LeBron brings in a lot of money, though.
Sure.
He does, but it's a real short-term play, right? Because realistically, what's he got? LeBron, best case scenario, has 3 seasons left, probably has 2. I'd love to see him have 3. So it's a short-term kind of play, if you will. So I think if LeBron was 32 or 34 years old, then you'd have to think it's nuts, because the jersey sales, all the money you're going to be raking in over the years, and in 10 years, the way these franchises are appreciating, you'd probably have more money. To Greg's point, if I gave you $1 million, next year I said I'll give you $1.2 million, and you did nothing, right? Like you take the deal. This is wild. We're talking in the billions here. So
you'll forget our lifetime. Chris has 25 years or more on us. You won't see it again in your lifetime, where a sports guys resells within 10 months. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
So
now, what do you think? What do you think the ceilings for this new Lakers team this year is looking like?
I don't trust them. I wouldn't bet them.
Yeah, I will hear Chris. I'll give you my live breakdown on what I think is going to happen. OKC, San Antonio, Denver, Minnesota, Houston, possibly Portland now with their signings, all finish above them. That's what I think. I think Golden State is the X factor. Does Jimmy Butler come back healthy? Can Steph stay healthy all year? What does that look like?
As a Warriors fan myself, actually.
Okay.
They aren't really, or I like to claim Warriors fan. I mean, I got a black Curry jersey that's
nice. Nicely done. Nicely played.
But I'm a Curry guy. I'm not really a Warriors guy. I'm a Curry guy. I'm gonna be honest. But they said this year they're taking it as a gap year. They're not really looking to go after huge signings or anything. They're focusing more on the post-Curry era. But Yaxel, I think Yaxel's going to be great. He came out. Did you see what he said online?
What did he say? Tell us.
Yaxel, he came out on a Twitch stream, and he basically had said he is expecting to average about like 15. I think he said 15, 6, and 3, or he said he's asked.
Good. Hold himself accountable.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you listen to the show, but I'm a diehard Michigan fan, so that makes me very happy. And I think Yaxel's a great addition to the team. So,
what do you think about Morez going above him?
Well, I think it's wild only because if a month before the draft they had Morez going in the 20s and his stock just kept rising, there was a chance he came back to school, right? And then all of a sudden his draft stock just shot off the board. And what I think is telling is that, Dusty May is their coach, right? And whether or not that deal was being worked behind the scenes prior to him signing is questionable. But if that's the case, then I think something. Morez is also a couple years younger, not in the grand scheme of things way younger, but in basketball years younger. I think Yaxel's probably closer.
Yeah, he's like 23.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's probably
closer. He's probably the most NBA ready.
Most NBA ready. Probably the lowest floor, but Morez probably has a higher ceiling, right? So, And Dallas could be good too. I mean, Dallas could end up ahead of the Lakers if they keep going. I know they weren't good last year, but they're getting Kyrie back. They've got Morez. They've got Dusty May there now.
Yeah.
And I was hammering Chris last year on the show, Cooper Flag. I said, trade that first pick for Giannis. Why would you take a chance on a kid from Duke when they've let us down over and over again? Take the sure thing. And I've had to eat my words. I'm dead wrong. If you ask me now, yeah, prime Giannis versus Cooper Flag, I'd take Giannis. But a 19-year-old Cooper Flag versus a 30-something-year-old in your Giannis, like, I've had to eat my words on that one because he played
And
awesome.
apparently what they said about Cooper Flag is he stretched up in the off season from, I think they said like 6'9" to like almost 7 foot. I don't know how true that is.
It could
But
be. I mean, the kid he was 18 turning 19 during the season, I believe, was he not? Or was
yeah,
he 19 turning 20? And he's gonna thicken up a little bit. But I didn't think he
fantasy.
was going to be able to keep up in the NBA. I thought he was going to look slow and out of place, and all he did was have a phenomenal season. So you pair him with Kyrie, Morez, a new coach. Dallas could be. I don't think they're going to be a top seed, but could they sneak into a 7 or an 8? I could see it. Right.
Let me give you a few takes here. One, Jimmy, you want to feel old here in Club 81? Chris was not alive when Curry almost beat Kansas in the Elite Eight. Wasn't here. So
you weren't even around.
Put it into perspective of how old we are. From a gambling standpoint, I would tell you the Lakers could be one of the worst bets on the board at 19-1 to win the West, and here's why. They're 19-1. What happens if you took Luka off that team? Because he's injury prone now. Let's just be honest. He's injury prone. If Luka comes off that team, what are they? 60-1? 70-1?
Yeah, nowhere in the realm.
They're unbettable. I'll tell you who I do like after the Spurs is that's Jimmy's secret love, Chris, and that's the Joker. 11-1.
I do love the Joker.
But that's going to segue me into my next thing. Have you seen the stories that the overseas leagues trying to get them? They're basically telling them, here's a blank check, just come play for us.
Yeah, I did actually see that.
What are your thoughts?
To me,
He goes?
No, definitely not. I think he definitely stays in the NBA, but he goes overseas for his horses, and that's about it.
Okay.
I think Chris that he should have tried to get himself to Golden State and partner with Steph Curry is what I think he should have done, because Steph's got a couple good years left, and those two in playing the 2-man game would have been unbelievable to watch. And the way Steph moves without the ball, even at this age, Jokic is going to find him. I thought it would have been a beautiful combination. So I don't think the Nuggets are doing them any justice with their moves or lack thereof.
Completely agree. All right, before I move on to a couple other things for you too, and Jimmy, you can be the NBA's lawyer in a minute, and I'm sure Chris will defend you. I wanted to ask you this because we were on the Lakers for a sec, and this was my question I had. The Celtics sold last year for $6 billion. Lakers just sold for 12.5. What would you rather buy? Would you go another $6.5 billion to own the Lakers, or would you own the other storied franchise for half of it? I'm a Celtics fan, so I won't answer.
I mean, I would, Chris, you chime in here, but I would save my $6 billion and buy the storied franchise in Boston.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why the evaluation was so much more 8 months, 10 months later. So I just thought it was interesting that they sold for double. All right, real quick, Westbrook retires. Do we care? I mean, is he a Hall of Famer? Where do we put Russ?
I have Russ in the Hall of Fame.
He probably
personally.
is because of all the triple doubles, right?
All of that, all the stats. Wizards Russ. Speaking of Wizards Russ, apparently the Wizards and the Kings wanted to sign him for at least another year, but he turned it down, chose to retire.
Maybe he just knew it was time to walk away, which is a bad thing. You got him, Jimmy?
Well, yeah, I got him in the Hall. I mean, he's an MVP winner. He reset the triple-double market. He's currently the all-time leader in triple-doubles. He's going to get passed by Jokic at some point, but he is that now, and he'll be 2. The problem with Russ is that he wasn't a great shooter, and when you're not a great shooter and you're getting older, right, you can't you can't be Jesus Shuttlesworth and just play for the Celtics and shoot bombs in the corner. I don't know if you know that reference, Chris, but it's it just doesn't work out for you anyway.
The game develops.
Yeah, you can't be Ray Allen. You can't. Yeah, like the guys that can really shoot the ball when the legs start to go or slip a little bit, still have tenure in the league and can play for a long time. Russ was a great scorer, rebounder. one of the most athletic point guards we've ever seen in the game, but it didn't age well, and that's why he's been moved around a bunch. And actually, Chris, I didn't know that. I thought he didn't get any offers, but it's almost the right move because it shows you he knew he wasn't going to win. So instead of playing just to play, he decided to walk away, which I can imagine is tough. If you play a game your whole life, walking away has got to be hard. The only thing that sort of makes me sad about the situation is he didn't get to go out more ceremoniously, saying this is my last season and I'm walking away, and you could have got some flowers because he played for a long time. He did a lot of good things, and he stuck in OKC when everybody else walked away. So hopefully he goes into the Hall and he goes into the Hall as a Thunder player, which I think he will. And good for him.
How do you think the NBA did with opening night? And I'm assuming the Celtics game's got to be overseas at Detroit at 3:00 on NBC. That's got to be an overseas game, right?
Can I interject one thing
Sure,
before I go back to
Anything
that
you
Russ
want.
conversation? For Russell Westbrook, do you think right now in this day and age, I have two questions. If Russ got an offer from OKC, do you think he would have taken it? Play another year, retire there?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
Now, second question being, at this day and age right now, as a Oklahoma City Thunder player, strictly, are you taking SGA? Has SGA done more for them, or has Russell Westbrook done more for them? Now, SGA won them a title, but Russ did do.
That's your
all
difference.
that.
Is SGA has a title, but SGA is still, in the very early stages of a already good career. So the runway for SGA, he's going to run down Westbrook, no problem, in an OKC uniform, unless he gets injured.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if they didn't win the title, if they had lost in the finals last year, you would put Russell above him still. But because SGA delivered a title, I think that's really difficult. But Russ helped. Obviously, KD was there. He played in Seattle before they moved. But Russ really was like the embodiment of Oklahoma City. He's the one that stayed. Harden was gone, money. KD chose to leave. Russell stayed, and I think that when you look at the foundation of the franchise, you gotta make it Russell Westbrook, in my opinion. But yeah, to Greg's point, there's just too much runway for SGA unless something goes entirely sideways. But they've done up until they won that title, they had the best GM running the best team in the best way in a small market. The only thing they didn't have was a chip, and now they have it. So I think they're going to be pretty relevant for a long time, and I think SGA, barring any catastrophic injury, is going to overtake them.
I just got my answer. The game is in Detroit at Little Caesars. Why is the NBA starting a game at 3:00? Why is the first game of the year 3:00
on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday. This is why this league is so dumb.
What's the first game?
It's the first game of the year is Boston at Detroit, 3:00, NBC and Peacock on a Tuesday. Then it goes to the two games that people will actually watch: Philly and the Knicks, and OKC and San Antonio.
Is that a holiday of some sort? Is that like
no Tuesday the 20th? No.
Yeah,
whatever
weird.
We call it, Columbus Day or whatever we call it now, is the week before, and it's a Monday.
Yeah. Maybe kids getting off of school, they want the kids to be tuned in, possibly.
It's a weird time. You should have like a ceremonial kickoff, and the Knicks-Sixers should be the kickoff game.
The Knicks-Sixers was a smart move because LeBron went there, and then they made that was good. That was good. You got to, because the champs usually kick it off, right, with the first game at night. I don't understand the 3:00 game. And then, there's no way it's an exhibition and I'm missing something because there's a line listed, so there's no way. In OKC, San Antonio, you knew that was coming because that gets ratings all the time because of the rivalry now. So, if I'm grading this, I give a B.
Yeah.
Not impressed. It doesn't get me pumped up for the season. And then here's where I said, Jimmy, you can be the NBA's lawyer because here's what we fight about every year. Well, last year, and we'll do it now against this year. Once again, the NBA has failed you, and NFL is king because they're just so much smarter than the people running the NBA. Here is your Christmas slate. San Antonio at the Knicks at noon. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Maybe I'll watch.
Imagine the finals.
Maybe I'll watch a half. Miami at Boston. Philadelphia at the Lakers. OKC at Minnesota. Denver, Golden State. Tell me why this is the greatest Christmas of all time, and then I'll tell you why it's not.
You're getting the Knicks against the Spurs. That is a phenomenal Christmas present. at 12 o'clock. Everybody's done opening their gifts. You've had your coffee, maybe a little charcuterie board. You got some prosciutto. You got a little gabagool. You're feeling good. Blowing a Bloody Mary. And then you get the Knicks. Get the Knicks and the Spurs. It's fantastic. After that, Celtics Heat does nothing for me. I'm not going to lie. Not a lot there. Lakers, Sixers, it's the storyline. LeBron going back to LA, right? So you've got that working if anybody cares. I think Thunder Timberwolves is a very, very good game. That'll be interesting. And last year, the Nuggets, and had zero plans on staying up to watch this, stole the show. It was the best game of either league, but nobody was there to see. It's like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears.
Of course, no one was there to see it.
Yeah, because it was over at 2 a.m.
And here's why no one will be there to see any of them again. The NFL said Packers, Bears, Bills, Broncos, Rams, Seahawks. Good night, NBA. Thank you for playing. Chris, your thoughts?
Rams, Seahawks. Great rematch.
Yeah.
I thought Rams should have
Christmas
won
Day, would you be watching the NBA or the NFL? Well, I mean, what slate to you is like, I'm watching it?
Okay, well, naturally, I like watching NFL better. I think NFL is more exciting than the NBA just due to the fact that I think basketball, I love. These are actually my two favorite sports, but basketball, very high scoring. Football is really more defense than they just let up less points. Now, Rams, Seahawks, great rematch. Rams would have won last year if Xavier Smith knew how to catch a ball, not fall to the ground with it.
Yeah. No, look, I'm with you 100%. Both these leagues are printing money, so they're the top two professional sport leagues by far. But if you're the NBA and you already saw what the NFL did, there was only one way to do this. Celtics, Knicks, because that's going to get everybody. You don't want to do Spurs and OKC again? Fine, I have no problem with OKC, Minnesota, but then you better put the Spurs against Denver. You put Philly against Detroit, so you have your next top two East teams playing, and you cut the fifth game, and you make it 4 unbelievable games. That's the only way you're going to get any type of competition against what the NFL just put out.
Now, why Spurs versus Nuggets?
Because the Spurs are your next best team. So if you don't want to put them against OKC again, I have no problem with OKC playing Minnesota. Then you got to put Denver Spurs, because your best East Coast game is always going to be Celtics Knicks. Always. Boston, New York, noon, that's going to get people to the TV. And maybe get them to stay there, because I'll tell you right now, the Knicks game, Jimmy, I'm glad you're excited for it. I just watched it in the finals. I don't need to see it again. I'm going to be flipping right over to Packers Bears at 1 o'clock.
So I've got a double whammy on this one. One, I'll be watching the Knicks game because Knicks. So clearly I'm going to watch that game. But here's my other hot take on this. I think Bills Broncos and Rams Seahawks are both going to be important games. I think, and I'll say it now, on August 13th, Packers Bears, one of those teams is going to be bad this year, and They have no chance.
But the other team's going to have to win that game.
You're right. But I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be less compelling, because I don't see us going into, what is this, week 16? So assuming a bye, let's say you've had 14 games. Like, I don't think you're going to have 2 10-4 teams heading into this week. I think one team's going to have 5 or 6 wins and be virtually out of it. And I think that's the Bears. I think Ben Johnson and I think he's a good coach, good offensive coach. I think last year was a fluke, and I know that makes me a hater, but I don't believe in the Bears. I think they take a step back this year. Just my opinion.
Look, 15 games they'll both have played. Will this be game 16 or this will be game? No, you're right. This will be game 15. So they'll both have 14 played. I think you're right. It could be the Bears that have nothing to play for. Maybe they're out of it, but the Packers might have something to play for, and it's in Chicago.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. It could be the other way around. The Bears could surprise me, and the Packers could be terrible. I just don't think both of these teams are going to be relevant at this point. And that's a risk you take on a holiday late in the season. I think the Broncos and the Bills will both be. I think we agree that the Bills will be. I think the Broncos are well coached. They've got a great defense, and Bo Nix is coming back healthy. I think the Rams and the Seahawks, it's more likely that the Seahawks are bad, not the Rams at this point, unless things completely fall apart.
Probably true, but even when the Seahawks suck, for some reason, they always play tough in their division, so it'll be a good game.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. and that'll be the night game. I will watch those next two games. I'm not going to defend the NBA and be their attorney at this point. I will watch the Knicks game for sure because I won't have a horse in the race, and I think it won't be extremely meaningful. But yeah, look, as a diehard I am of a Browns fan, anything Buffalo I want to see succeed. So I'll watch Buffalo and Denver, and then yeah, but by the time 8:15 comes around and I've eaten way too many sausages and red sauce and Parmesan and gabagool, I'll be sitting in bed with a bottle of Tums, just watching the game go like an old guy does.
A little bourbon on the side.
Okay.
What you do at 45? All right, Chris, where are you in college football? You a big college football guy or more just NFL?
Not a huge college football guy. I know like surface level knowledge, more NFL, NBA.
All right. Well, you're going to learn a few things here tonight as I bitch about college football because I looked at the top 25. We talked about it last show too. I don't have a huge issue with the top 25. I think for the most part, Jimmy, they probably got it right with everybody starting obviously at 0-0. Obviously, every year there's top 25 teams that wind up sucking, and there's teams that they didn't even think were going to be good that hop into the top 25. Happens every year. So I don't really have a problem with the top 25. Do you? I don't like Ohio State won. I don't think they're the best team in the country. So that fine, whatever. We'll see what happens. My problem is Notre Dame.
Yeah,
the fact that there is this stupid fucking stipulation that if they're voted in the top 12, they automatically qualify for the college playoff could be the most corrupt thing I've ever heard. And this is
so. Let me get this straight. Is this by the playoff committee?
Oh yeah, this is written in the contract now because of what happened last year with Miami.
Got it. Yeah, sounds corrupt.
It's absolutely absurd. Playing in a conference. I still don't understand why Notre Dame is this. They're not even good. I hate them so much. It drives me nuts, Chris. You don't play in a conference and you want special treatment. It's 2026, not 1984. Nobody cares about you anymore. Join a conference or go away.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I mean, even when they were terrible, they still had that TV deal, so we had to watch them.
We have to watch. We got to watch them every Saturday on NBC, even when they sucked.
Yep.
To watch Ron Paulus run around like a dope.
Yep. Look, I think they're going to be decent. I think Carr is a really good quarterback. That comeback they almost had against Miami to kick off the season. But yeah, I agree. It's extremely corrupt. It's booster money. Just calling the shots is what it is. But hey, it's par for the course for the NCAA. Why would we be surprised?
I know we shouldn't be. I can't wait till this thing goes to 24 teams. Notre Dame, you'll get in every year and you'll lose in the first or second round because you suck. Coach is good. That's my problem here. I do like the coach.
Coach is good. Yeah.
Hate the uniform, hate the team, hate the corruption, hate every little special treatment they get. I will tell you this. I did a little bit more research on your boy, Chris. Jimmy has a enormous crush on Indiana's coach.
I love him. Yeah.
The fact that they're bringing in the kid from TCU last year, they might be good.
They could. I'm telling you,
the defense looks really good again, and the fact that they got the kid from TCU. Now he makes some poor throws. I will say that as I follow TCU, as you know, they might be good, Jimmy. They might put up some big points again.
Nobody knew who Fernando Mendoza was before he got to Indiana. You would have said like who?
No one knew who Signetti was, and then he said, "Google me, I win."
One of the most gangster comments of all time.
Greatest comment ever. Yeah. He said, "Google me, I win."
Yeah,
that is a press conference.
Yeah, all right. I don't think they're going to win it. I think it's very difficult to win it all 2 years in a row in this type of tournament. Yeah,
virtually impossible.
But they're going to be good. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think you can not pencil them in, but you can assume that they're going to make the playoffs.
We're going to preview the Big 12, everybody, on our next show. We'll get back to our conference previews. I got two more college things. One that we're going to go right at Chris for because I know he's a big fan of in the NFL. So we got something for you, Chris, that wasn't on the sheet I sent you. We got something special for you in a second. But Jimmy, I got to tell you, I don't like Underwood's comment at all. As two Michigan fans, I do not like how he said Ohio State is just another game. No.
No, I don't hate it.
It's the game. Jimmy. It's the game.
He knows it is.
Jimmy, I don't care if we go 1-11. Jimmy, if we go 1-11, but we beat Ohio State, I can go be happy.
Of course, we all agree with that. But I think I think Bryce Underwood's a smart kid, and I think he's playing the mind game, right? I think he's like you've got their quarterback talking about how it's the biggest ride. Like he's getting all hyped about it. He's staying cool. He's saying, "Hey, it's another game." Now he knows it's a big game. He understands the weight of this. He knows what it means to the coach, to the university, to the boosters, to everyone involved. He fully understands it. He's playing chess here. That's the way I read this. He doesn't mean that for a second. He's saying that to put it out there, calm, cool, collected. It didn't go great last year. Who could blame him? He was barely 18 years old. He started the season. He was 17.
17 years old. Yep.
He was barely 18 years old. They got beat, but it wasn't some crazy blowout. He's just he's playing chess. He knows, he understands, he's all in. He wants to win that game as bad as anyone. He's just not giving anybody a soundbite to say this now 19-year-old says he's going to come in here and kick our ass. He's keeping it cool, and he's going to go in there and he's going to do his thing. Now, they're not supposed to. They're going to be a big dog, especially according to the early season rankings, but that's what he's doing. That's why I don't mind it, because I don't think he means it. I think he is zero. That's not at all what he's saying.
I'd prefer if he said, and we're going to go in there and kick their ass.
Of course.
That's what I prefer, because now you got the coach and you got this guy. Like, I don't appreciate the comments.
But if they go in there and win, all will be forgiven.
That's true. And we've had some good luck in the horseshoe the last few years. But, I mean, my God, it's called the gate, Chris. If you look, let me just teach you something real quick on this podcast. Don't listen to anyone who tells you Red Sox, Yankees, or any of these other rivalries. The biggest rivalry in all of sports is Michigan, Ohio State.
I already know that. I had a teacher. That attended Ohio State. Every time someone said something about Michigan, he kicked him out of the class. He had him take laps around the school.
That's funny, and I respect it. Ohio State, that's funny, and I respect it.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, give Chris the story while I refresh my drink, and then I'm going to come here and tell him why I now do not like Jaden Daniels after loving him.
Whoa, so Chris, hold on now.
So, Chris, did you see the story about Jaden?
With the DJ?
No. So, Jaden Daniels sends LSU a letter, has his representative talk to LSU, saying, "You're not allowed to use my name, image, likeness. We're done. Don't talk about me. I want the Heisman Trophy out of there. Cutting all ties." And why do you think he did that, Chris? I'll give you one guess. It's so petty that that I don't blame you for not getting it.
I don't have a clue, to be honest.
Because a cornerback is wearing his number. So his number is being worn by a cornerback.
Okay.
And he said that is so disrespectful that you would let another player wear my number that I want to cut all ties with the university. I want nothing to do with it. Don't mention my name. Don't talk about me. Don't use my name, image, likeness. I want that Heisman Trophy out of your case. Because a sophomore cornerback, is wearing the number 5. Defend that. It's a tough one.
I'm going to defend it. He's a great quarterback. And to be honest, there shouldn't be a quarterback wearing his number.
Not a quarterback, a cornerback.
No, I know. Quarterback to cornerback. I don't think a cornerback should be wearing Jaden's number.
And if I may, Greg, Chris, you've been a great addition to the show. You've brought extremely poignant points, and we appreciate you. So there will be no roasting going on back and forth to this. But what I would say is, couldn't you make a phone call, have a conversation, say I don't appreciate it? Hey,
really
cool.
100%.
Or do you have to go scorched earth and say, we're done, complete divorce? I know I'm in the NFL going to year 3, but it just feels petty. And I agree, he was a great quarterback. Maybe they shouldn't have done it. I'm not arguing any of those points that they could have just given it away. Maybe they should have talked to him for all of the things are true. But taking the high road would have made him look great. Going through this and now being bad, like he's getting peppered with questions from reporters, right? Including, hey, if they gave number 9 for Joe Burrow away, would that have upset you? He's in it, and it's just a distraction he probably didn't need.
Right, here's a few things. It's time now for me to give my fucking take on this, because
don't go crazy though.
No,
don't go crazy.
He's a dope, and I'm gonna tell you why he's a dope. Okay, first of all, yeah, you put up some great numbers and you won the Heisman. You were a very, very, very good quarterback. There's a few things here. One, I don't know if he remembers, but let me bring you back to your college days there, Jaden. About 782 people dress for a college game. So they need to use a lot of numbers. They're not even giving it out on offense. Because people who don't know, there are games where people wear the same number on offense and defense.
And
defensive
defense.
players. So they're not even giving it to an offensive player. That's one. Two, bro, you're not even in the same stratosphere as Joe Burrow. Not even in the same straight. He went 15-0 and won a natty for them. You don't want to give out number 9. They shouldn't give out number 9. And let's just hear it. Let me just get this out because this is just history and true. He played 3 games, Jaden Daniels, against the top 20. How many did he win? 0. Lost to Ole Miss, lost to Bama, lost to Florida State. Those were your 3 big games. You lost all 3. You put up some great video game numbers. You lost the 3 games that mattered for LSU. Joe Burrow went 15-0. 15-0. Beat number 7 Florida. Beat number 9 Auburn. Beat number 2 Bama on the road. Beat Georgia. Beat Oklahoma. Beat Clemson. Number 9 will never be worn again.
Now, hear me out. If Jaden Daniels has Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, is he not doing that same thing?
He had Malik Neighbors.
And that same team? Okay, he had Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., but there's levels to the receivers. Like these are the two. You gotta hear me out. These are the 2 best receivers in the NFL.
They are.
It's a good point.
They are, but let's also be fair. Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. are not 2 scrubs. They came out of college with the exact same expectations as the 2 people you just mentioned. They were both, they're both number. Well, Thomas had a bad second year, but first year he was the number 1 receiver in Jacksonville, and Malik Neighbors is by far the number 1 on the Giants.
This is what I would say. I think the question's the wrong question, right? Because I would agree. Joe Burrow in the net. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been more accomplished. Jaden Daniels, I think, could be a great player as well, and he was great in college. I think the question isn't who's better. It's if they gave somebody the number 9. I think they need to give number 9 out, and let's gauge how Joe reacts. Right? Like
Jimmy. Not on this show. You know better.
I'm just telling you. That's the question. It's the reaction.
Number 9 should be retired in all college stadiums. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Listen, just because you love you some Joe.
He's the best quarterback. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
About 9.
Yeah.
Like
so I will tell you too, Chris, if you haven't listened to the show, Greg was the biggest Jaden Daniels defender last year.
I was. He's fantastic.
He loves Jaden Daniels. He loved him.
This comment. You can never put yourself in the same category as Joe Burrow. I'm sorry. He's the best quarterback.
No, but you were a Jaden Daniels lover, so your switch take on this is interesting. But so are you a Commanders fan, Chris?
I am, yeah.
All right. Well,
now that started with Dwayne Haskins. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm sorry to y'all.
So
but
Ohio State, rest in peace.
Dwayne Haskins, he was one hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, the bad thing about the Commanders is they're called the Commanders. I mean, to me, they'll always be Skins, but
yeah. But I mean, I'm really happy with that Diggs signing. That made my day.
I agree. I think it was a great signing. But I think Jaden Daniels right here is acting like a 23-year-old or 24.
But now, is Jaden doing that to get more attention around him? Because I remember I did personally tell you I could see Jaden winning MVP with 2 star receivers. Now, is that delusion?
No.
Possibly.
Absolutely not.
Look, I got to see a picture of Jaden to see if he's put on 20 pounds because that was my biggest contention is he's going to, he got hurt. He's going to keep getting hurt. It's the same thing with Bryce Young. Like, somebody get this guy a protein bar and show him a weight room. Like, they've got to get a little thicker if they're going to survive this league, right? They don't need to be Big Ben Roethlisberger. They don't need to be Jalen Hurts, squatting 650 pounds or whatever. So they don't need to be that big. But these guys they've got to thicken up a little bit if they want to survive this league. I do think that's true.
I agree. He's got to put on a little weight or he's going to have to start getting out of bounds.
Like
a lot.
Yeah.
Which is what Harbaugh was teaching Jackson Dart. Like, he literally at practice, he's like high-fiving him when he gets out of bounds. It's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. When we talked about the Giants, we thought they were going to be pretty good. I'm starting to lose faith in it. I think the Giants are going to be fucking bad this year.
Bottom of the East.
Yeah.
Why do
I
you
got
think that
another
all of a
bye week.
sudden?
I'm listening to. I listened to Chris. I don't know if you listen to any or not. You're probably young guy. Listen to radio, but I listen to a lot of local talk radio, and it just doesn't sound. I'm not hearing great things out of the camp. They could turn it around. It could be a whole thing. Maybe we put too much stock into getting a veteran coach that's a Super Bowl winner and being able to turn it quick. I don't know that they'll be terrible, but I don't think we can pencil them in as good as I thought they were going to be a few weeks ago after everything I'm hearing.
All right. Jahmyr Gibbs locked in. Are you happy now, Jimmy? Do you think this finally we can just get back to football here for Detroit Lions?
We can. It's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Excuse me. I know. I do it every show. I do it every show just for you.
Because you love Jamar Chase, and I understand.
I just love messing with you.
Yeah. So no, I think that I think they will be. I think one of their backups is going to have to emerge as a decent running back to spell them a little bit, right? Because David Montgomery was really, really good. They had that great 1-2 combo going, and now that he's gone,
where did he land? He's a Texan.
Monty is with the Texans, but backup running back is Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
Now is
Rutgers guy.
Is Pacheco the same Pacheco? Definitely not. But with less touches, maybe he could get his body back and going.
But the thing is, Chris, he's also that David Montgomery style back. Like, he's a power back.
No,
so
he's a very hard runner.
Yeah, it complements Jahmyr Gibbs very, very well. He stays healthy generally, right? And that's why he was starting at that time to begin with. And then he's not, I mean, I don't know what he is off the top of my head, but is he 26 years old, 25 years old? Pacheco's young, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be okay. And he is New Jersey Rutgers alum. So, I mean, what could go wrong there?
Yeah, what could go wrong there? The center's out for 10 weeks. That's a problem for the Lions.
That's not great.
It's not good. I think they can piece it together because the schedule's not hard. But, I mean, losing that center that's not good, Jimmy. Not good.
It's not ideal.
I don't think it hurts them, though. I'm going to be honest. I still keep my take. I think they're going to have one of the best records in the league. They're playing a very weak schedule.
I hope you're right. Always rooting for the Lions.
You see Crosby and Cousins getting a fight?
Yeah, they were out for a practice, I think.
They got sat out for a practice, which kind of tells me that maybe Mendoza's going to start sooner than we thought.
I mean, allegedly, Cousins went at him for getting hit, he's wearing the red jersey multiple times, and Cousins got in his face, which isn't a great idea, Kirk.
This is a Crosby thing, by the way. If you haven't followed this, like Crosby, for some reason, is very aggressive in practices and like makes it a point to tell everybody this is fucking football. You're going to get hit.
Yeah.
You might
know that, but that tracks.
Crosby also has a chip on his shoulder.
100%.
Remembering, he did just get sent off by the same team. If you think he has respect for these owners and stuff, he probably does somewhat, but he just got shipped. And the only reason why he's not on a different team right now is because failed a physical, I believe.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's a great point.
Physical, so the Ravens could sign somebody else. That's what happened.
Well, it was Trey Hendrickson, but I would have 100% preferred Max Crosby over Hendrickson.
Agreed.
Chris, on this show, we never insult Bengals. Like, never. I'll take Hendrickson.
Now,
Hendrickson was from Western Ohio, the way he talks.
I'm just curious.
He's from Northern Kentucky.
Hendrickson's great. No disrespect to Trey, but I mean Max Crosby is definitely just more dominant, I feel.
The reason the Hendrickson thing made sense, if I'm recalling this correctly, though, is because they didn't have to give up any picks. They just signed them. It just cost them money, right? So if you think about, sure, I would take, if everything was equal, I would definitely take Max. Chris, I agree with you. But if I could get a couple of first-round picks and Trey Hendrickson for money instead of Max, then that changes.
It comes a conversation,
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I forgot. Just remind me. In 2024, who led the league in sacks? Was it Max Crosby or was it Trey Hendrickson? I'm confused again. I forget a lot of things, Jimmy. If you could just remind me.
Hey, you're one of one that thinks Trey Hendrickson's a better football player than Max Crosby.
I don't think that. See, I think that is a hot take. I don't think that's true at all. Trey Hendrickson had 17 and a half sacks in 23 and 24.
Oh, he's very good.
14 and 21, 13 and 20. What are we talking about? He's got 81 sacks in 9 years.
He's very good. Max Crosby.
He's great. No one said he's not great. These are also two players on their defense that stand out incredibly.
100%. But to say he's can't be compared to Max Crosby is absolutely absurd.
I'm not saying it can't be compared. I'm just saying
Max Crosby got a little bit,
Max Crosby,
little bit of an edge.
I agree.
All right, so give me some Max Crosby stats.
Oh, I don't have the stat. You're the stat guy.
Yeah.
All right,
I didn't research the stats, but
let's see. Crosby's best year, he had 14 and a half sacks. He has a total of 69, in the same time, 69 sacks to Hendrickson's 81.
Okay. Well, it's a fair singular stat. But GMs...
Okay, what do you want? You want tackles?
I believe GMs would agree with the two of us.
Combo tackles, 236, 162. He assisted on 74. Crosby, okay, I'll give you this. Crosby from tackles is better. He's more involved in the tackles. But sacks goes to Crosby.
This is the problem. We get these debates. They're both very good players.
Now I have a question, right? Because we don't insult Bengals players. Ex-Giant Dexter Lawrence had how many sacks last season? Are you going to tell me that Dexter Lawrence is terrible?
No, Dexter Lawrence is a fantastic player.
But Dexter Lawrence didn't even have a singular sack last season. So if we're going off of stats alone...
Great point, Chris. I like Chris.
You're talking about someone at the end of their career versus two people at like the tail end of their primes.
But Dexter Lawrence is still valued very high.
Okay.
At his position. But he had a sack. Half a sack.
I hear you. I get what you're saying. But what I'm telling you is you're talking like Max Crosby is head and shoulders above Hendrickson, where if I was the Ravens, Hendrickson fits my scheme a lot better than Max Crosby. So I would have put the exact same corruption in play and said, oh, you failed the physical. We're going to go sign this guy now. Again, he had 17 and a half sacks, Jimmy, in 2 different years.
But I agree. Look, the point is that they needed to give up multiple picks for Crosby. They had to give up nothing for Trey Hendrickson.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's probably...
I do like that
that's
point. That's
it at the end of the day. So if I was running the Ravens, I would have done the same thing. Because there isn't a big enough... I would still say Max Crosby is better, but there's not a big enough gap that I wouldn't rather have a couple first-round picks and just have to give up money. So they did the right thing. They absolutely sabotaged that physical. And that's, gangster, but it's the right move.
Well, look, let's sit here in January and we'll talk about who had the better season. Because remember, Trey Hendrickson also played on a not great defense. Wait till you see him as a Raven on arguably a top 4 defense.
Yeah, and Max Crosby's still going to be on a bad team where they have no chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to double Crosby all day. All right, Vikings named QB1. Jimmy, our boy, is going to be a career backup, my friend.
He is.
JJ, I love you, but there's only one JJ who's going to start in Minnesota. It's not you.
In hindsight, this was obvious. He was a great quarterback for us. He won us a national title.
That's a natty, baby.
He sure did. But we had a great running game. We had a good defense. He wasn't like a stud out there. And he somehow can't stay healthy now. So I hope JJ nothing but the best. I hope he gets another chance somewhere else. But I think this was pretty obvious. You don't bring Kyler Murray in to be the backup. You bring him in to win the job because you're not confident with the guy you had. Their biggest sin was still letting Sam Darnold go win a Super Bowl somewhere else when they had a roster that was arguably just as good.
Hilarious.
They just kept him there.
Hilarious. Chris, your thoughts on Kyler Murray? You think he can go? Do you think he can go out and get the Minnesota Vikings to the promised land? Yeah.
Yes.
We do
now,
too.
Kyler Murray, I still believe in Kyler Murray. He's a great player. Now, picture Kyler Murray has a top 3 receiver in the league. Has Kyler Murray ever had that?
Yes.
Arguable. Arguable.
He's had some good receivers, though.
He had some good receivers. He has some really good receivers.
He had a top 10 receiver of all time.
Yeah, but like you said, kind of towards the end of the career. Now,
that's true.
Nothing to take away from
Fitzgerald,
any of the receivers, but
did he have D-Hop too?
He had D-Hop too, but he had Fitzgerald. But Fitzgerald was
he had D-Hop.
D-Hop was kind of at the end, but Fitzgerald never fell off.
Even AJ Green was there at one point.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is very true.
Look, Kyler Murray he's paired with a coach that is a quarterback whisperer.
Jimmy, that's the key. He's with KOC.
But also now he has Justin Jefferson, he has Jordan Addison, and not only is it left at that now, he has Jordan Mason, who's I feel he's going to take that backfield over. Aaron Jones, right, towards the end of his career, it's fine.
But
Then
great
you
pass
have
catcher
at
out
the
the backfield.
at the wide receiver 3, Jawan Jennings, breakout season last year. He did amazing. And then you have Hawkinson at tight end.
Chris, that's a great take. A phenomenal take. The addition of Jennings, to me, says you now have a wide receiver 1, and forget a 2 and 3. You now have 2 2s. Because Jennings is not a 3. Jennings is a 2. Addison's a 2.
Yeah, 100% right. 100%.
And if Hawkinson can turn the clock back a little bit, Hawkinson's an unbelievable tight end.
Yes.
I agree. So we talked on this show. We think it's Lions Vikings or Vikings Lions. That's who we think are coming in the top 2 in the North.
No, I'm gonna stick with that too. And Brian Flores is a great defensive coach, and he's still there, and their defense is still going to be solid. So they're good. They lost 3 games with Sam Darnold and let him walk. If they get competent quarterback play, which you have to assume they're going to get from Kyler Murray, and he can stay healthy, it's going to be just fine. And I agree, Chris. He's a good quarterback. He's a great athlete. He's also 5 inches shorter than you. So let's just make sure that that's his one thing, right? He's not just a small. He's 5'8". He's got a little bit of a. If you can succeed, but you've got to be extraordinary.
Really good,
right?
Yeah.
Right, and he can be.
We've seen him do it at a high level before. We have seen it.
We've seen him play real well. He's got a cannon on him. He was a baseball player, right? He could have gone pro playing baseball.
100% could have.
Yeah, he's going to be. I think he's going to be fine there. I think it's a good rebirth for everyone. And really, Carson Palmer had a good run there, but outside of Kurt Warner, who the Giants had written off and the league had written off, Arizona's really a bad franchise in general, right? Like Jake Plummer back in the day. Do we want to talk about that? So outside of Kurt Warner, they never were great. Carson Palmer, some good years. It's a poorly run franchise with very few actual fans. They're all transplants. And he's in a better place now. He's in a place where they really give a shit. And he's got a coach that's going to get him in the right lane. So
we're going to take a time out. We're 112 episodes into this podcast. And Jimmy, we have a lot of rules in this podcast. I'm sorry if I never mention this one. We never, ever insult Jake the Snake Plummer on this show, ever.
Jake the Snake.
The greatest of all time, Jimmy. The greatest ever.
Where were his best years?
Arizona State.
Probably, yes, but also in Denver.
Sure, that's a good point, actually.
Right?
Great point.
So, yeah, it was they went 500 one year and made the playoffs and beat Emmett in Dallas, and it was like this. It might as well have been their Super Bowl, right? So, yeah. Phoenix sucks. Arizona, you can keep it.
Look, we talked already. Dope of the week is Jaden Daniels. Sorry, Chris. But 1A is Ben Johnson saying that the Bears are going to be the highest scoring team ever in the NFL. And that's the goal, and that's what they're going to be. My friend. I love the comment. You're not the 2013 Broncos. And your boy Caleb is not Peyton Manning. He's not going to go toss for 55 TDs. You got no shot at being the best.
He actually lost 20 pounds in the offseason. Apparently, he wants to run. Ben wants him to scramble a lot more this season.
I don't care how much he scrambles. He's not throwing 55 TD. That 2013 Broncos team was almost unfair.
Who was his number 2? I got to imagine a couple of those Saints teams when they were really good with Drew Brees were extremely high yardage and high scoring offenses.
I think the 2011 Saints is one of the highest scoring teams of all time.
Yeah, that tracks. No. Ben Johnson was a great coordinator. He had a great rookie head coaching year last year. I think he's getting way ahead of himself. This gets complicated. And I think a lot of things went Chicago's way last year. So let's just kind of see what happens.
Can you name, besides the Broncos, can you name the next highest scoring teams of all time or no?
Well, that would have been one of the New Orleans teams would have been one of my guesses.
They're in the top 10.
The Greatest Show on Turf, St. Louis, would be a guess.
They are in the top 12. I think they're 12th.
Okay.
Talking all time?
Yeah, all time. This won't surprise. When I say who number 2 is, you're going to be like, how did I not? How did I not?
Okay. Is this go back? What's the latest year? Because I'm thinking
Chiefs,
Bears,
one of the Chiefs
back.
teams.
Okay, great call. The 18 Chiefs, Mahomes' first year. That's number 3. The number 4 team is extremely recent, which you should nail. Extremely recent.
Recent Lions team?
Yes. 2024 Lions is number 4. But the number 2 team, Jimmy, Chris, you're probably not going to know because you were so young.
85 Bears.
Jimmy, you're gonna kick
Defense.
yourself in the ass when I tell you who the number 2 team is.
All right, let me give a.
I'd give you a hint, but then it would just give it away.
Was
Is it-
Andrew Luck?
Oh, was
Andrew
it?
Luck?
Oh, it was New England with Randy Moss.
100%. 2007 Patriots
Yeah.
are number 2. You couldn't even stop them. It was literally unfair, Brady to Moss.
Yeah, it was
So
like a cheat code.
All right, so we got a question, Jimmy and Chris, from one of our listeners, and the question is: who has a better chance to get to the Super Bowl, in your opinion, the Lions or the Bills?
I'm going to say the Bills.
Lions.
All right, good. We disagree.
I kind of agree with Chris for this one reason. Again, we could be sitting here in December and I'm just eating my words. But when I look at the schedule, and they have one of the easiest schedules in the league, it would not shock me if they're the 1 seed and they literally only have to win 2 games at home and they're in the Super Bowl. That's why I agree. I think the Lions are the team that has an easier shot. And Chris, this could be your take. I'll throw it to you in a sec. The NFC, I think, is weaker than the AFC. Go ahead, Chris.
I was about to go there. I feel like the AFC is only getting stronger too. Only getting stronger. You just saw Drake May and this New England team come out of nowhere. That team was not good 2 years ago, and then you just saw them make it to the Super Bowl. So obviously in the AFC they know what they're doing, and they got Patrick Mahomes over there, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Herbert, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they got all the best quarterbacks over on that side of the thing. On this side, top quarterbacks would be like Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels,
Yep.
Jared Goff, like
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts. But these are quarterbacks that like aren't very these aren't mobile quarterbacks. These are quarterbacks that are kind of pocket sitters, and they really just read the field well. Like over on the AFC, like you got like all around talent for all these quarterbacks.
So here's my argument for the Bills. I think we all agree that the Jets and the Dolphins are trash. So you only have the Patriots to get over, which I think are going to take a step back. They're not going to have everything break their way in a cookie-cutter schedule. So I think the Bills win the division. I think then you look at the South, and Greg and I picked Tennessee to come out of the South, but I don't think we think they're going to be a 1 seed or a 2 seed. The North is going to be, you're going to have 3 decent teams, and then my team, the Browns, who are going to be not great. And then the West is just going to beat the crap out of each other. So I think the Bills are going to go in the 1 seed based on what I just said. So that's why I think it's going to happen. Now, the Bills have a tough schedule. They play the Rams. I think they play the Seahawks. They the whole division, right?
The Bills are, I think, like we talked about it when we talked about the East. And again, people who are listening who didn't hear that show, don't worry. We're going to re-preview all the NFL conferences. We got plenty of time here to give you all our picks and our breakdowns. But it's very front-loaded on the Bills' schedule. Their first 5 games are ridiculous. At Houston, versus the Lions, versus the Chargers, versus the Patriots. They do get 3 straight home games. That's a plus, but it's against very good teams. And then they go to the Rams. That is a tough 5-game schedule, Jimmy.
Very tough.
They get a little reprieve with Vegas, but then they come right back and go home against Baltimore. So again, it's home. But going to Minnesota, we just talked about it. We think Murray's going to have a good season with O'Connell calling the shots. That ain't going to be a walk in the park at Minnesota, especially on a Monday night. A Monday night game on November 9th. Those fans are going to be fired up in Minnesota. Then you got to play Kansas City. It's at home again, Thanksgiving night. But then you got to play at New England, at Green Bay, at Denver on Christmas. This is not an easy schedule.
It's very tough. I
don't think there's a world, Jimmy, where they can be the 1 seed. I think they can win the East, but I don't think they can be the 1 seed.
Could be. But again, I'm going to pencil them in for 5 wins. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they split with the Pats. I pencil them in for 5 wins. With
5 division wins. Yeah, that's fair. But again, that schedule is absurd out of conference.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one. It's a
Chris,
tough
what do you
one.
think? You think the Bills a 1 seed, or would you look somewhere else?
I think Bills 1 seed, yeah.
Yeah, all
I,
right.
I don't think there's really a team in that division that can really mess with them. I mean, Patriots were what? Patriots were just right there, but like I don't see them running it back. I mean, to be quite frank, similar to the Knicks, I don't really see the Knicks unfortunately getting back. Unfortunately, I don't see them getting back to where they just were, especially with this new Philly team. Now, I mean, the Bills only got better where they just bring in DJ Moore. Now they have a real number one option to throw that ball to,
Yeah,
which
I like that.
they
DJ.
haven't had since Diggs.
Yeah, I like the DJ Moore signing. I'll say this. The good news, Jimmy, is most of these games against the tough teams are at home.
Yeah, it is a gauntlet, though. You're right. They have a very tough schedule, but
it's a new home, but a home nonetheless.
Yeah, with
and our friend Buffalo Andy assures me this stadium is fantastic. So
yeah.
He said,
contrary to all the rhetoric we're hearing.
Yeah, he said, don't believe the media bullshit. This stadium is fantastic. All right, let's talk a little AFC West, because I think this is the most, right, Jimmy? You think it most competitive conference in the AFC, right?
Yes, I do.
Who do you guys like coming out of this conference? I'll bring up some odds here too while you guys are talking about it. Right off the rip, Jimmy, who do you like?
So my immediate reaction is Denver. The problem I have with saying Denver is they won it last year. Are they going to pull it off 2 times in a row when it's so competitive? Can Bo Nix stay healthy? My second piece look, it's tough to bet against Patrick, but even Tom wasn't the same coming off an ACL for the first year. He's going to come off the ACL. He's going to have to get hit. He's going to have to figure out what that feels like. I'm going to tell you, if Josh McDaniels had a couple good years in Miami, maybe he failed overall as a head coach, but he's a hell of an offensive coordinator. If anybody can unlock Justin Herbert and the stable of horses they have in the backfield, it's him. So I'm going to say the Chargers.
I like the Chargers too, but the Chargers have one of the top. They have the second toughest schedule in the NFL. I love the Chargers too, but their schedule is absurd. They start out light with Arizona, then the Raiders, but they go to Buffalo, Seahawks, Buffalo, KC, Rams, Houston, Ravens, Patriots, Buccaneers, Niners, and then they finish the year at KC and at Denver. Their schedule.
They have the Dolphins in between there. I don't know.
I like them too, Jimmy, but their schedule is so hard.
It is. You got to assume one of those teams we think is going to be good is going to fall off this year, because it happens every year. A team we think is going to be great just gets riddled with injuries. They can't pick themselves off the mat. So there's going to be some, and it could be the Chargers, and then we're just hosed with this pick. But I think there's going to be enough opportunity there that the Chargers get it done. And again, like I said, I think because you have 3 good teams and the Raiders, these teams are going to beat up on each other, right? So I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the Chargers. I'm going to stick with the Chargers.
Who do you like coming out of the West, Chris?
Like Jimmy said, hard to bet against Mahomes. Coming off a year with an ACL injury, yes. Now, he didn't make the playoffs last year. I know he got that chip on his shoulder, and to be honest, I still, to this day, think Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over every quarterback in the NFL. And that might be a hot take at this point, at this day and age, but when I know I'm down and there's a real 2-minute drill in a clutch scenario, right? We could be in the playoffs. We could be in a regular season game. But I know if Mahomes has anywhere from 2 minutes to a minute 30 seconds, anything above a minute, even under a minute, I know Mahomes can march down that field and have his kicker put it through a post, or he could just put it in the end zone himself.
See, it's a great take. And they're the favorites to win the division. And they have an easy schedule. So I would tell you, in the words of one of my favorites, Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Because here's what's going to happen. On December 13th, they go to Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow will smack them around because he owns. It's called Burrowhead, my man. He owns the Chiefs. Owns them. It's called Burrowhead. They're gonna lose to the Bengals. They're gonna go back home, and the Patriots are gonna beat them. They're gonna lose to the Niners. They're gonna lose at San Diego, and they'll beat the Raiders in a game that doesn't mean anything. So when they lose those 4 in a row, that's going to take them out of the playoffs. They're actually going to lose 6 in a row because they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Then they're going to lose to the Rams at the Rams. They're going to lose to Cincinnati. They're going to lose to the Patriots. They'll lose to the Niners.
What? They're going to lose to the Patriots? Nah, they do not lose to the Patriots. That was... I was letting it slide for a little bit, but the Patriots, I don't have them beat.
Underdogs. Hold on, Jimmy. You got to know a little bit about the trends. The underdogs in that series are 4-1. Patriots will be the underdog.
No, I'm going to defend Chris's first point. This is where two things can be true. Because I don't think Kansas City's going either. But I don't think it's a hot take by you, Chris, to say Patrick Mahomes. Because a year ago, that was the majority of experts said Patrick Mahomes was a guy. He's had one bad year in an ACL, and we forget about the fact that all he does is go to the championship game or the Super Bowl. He's still a great quarterback. I think it may take him a minute because you're coming off an ACL. You're in the pocket. You're getting hit around the knees, so it might take a second. But you'd have a hard time if you didn't take Patrick Mahomes. Number one, there's no one on earth that wouldn't take him in the top 3. So if that does happen, what Greg is saying, which could happen, I don't think they're going to lose 6 in a row, but they could miss the playoffs and they could not be, and I don't think they're going to win the division. It's not going to be his fault. That's what I'll tell you. The team around him's aging. They haven't done a great job at replacing key parts. They lost Trent McDuffie this year. You were basically counting on Patrick Mahomes.
They went and got Delane.
Yeah.
He has been putting Xavier Worthy in a box. Rashee Rice boxed. I've been watching the clips from camp, and some receivers are looking very frustrated to go up against him at once.
Well, that's a good sign, and that's a good point. So they filled but that was if nothing else, a roll of the dice going with the draft pick over a guy that's proven, right? Signing him.
Yeah.
So that, Travis, everybody likes Travis Kelce. He's not the same player. Father Time's undefeated. Glad he's coming back for another year. Rashee Rice, I mean,
I'm big on him. I think he's great.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I think he's too, Chris. I think Rice is good.
But my thing is, I'll never know if he truly is as good as I think he is. Is it that he's great himself, or is it that Mahomes is really just throwing him the ball? Because
no, he runs good routes. He
does.
He does. He runs very good routes. Kelsey's getting older, to Jimmy's point. I think the Chiefs will be alive. As much as, you know me, I hate him, Jimmy, so I'm always bagging on him. I think the Chiefs will be alive to the final week of the season, and they could sneak in as a wild card. Jimmy likes the Broncos. Right, Jimmy? That's who you like?
No, Chargers. Chargers.
I like the Chargers, too. I think the Chargers overcome that schedule, even though it's the hardest. I think Herbert will have a breakout year. I think he's going to spread the ball around. I think McConkey has a bounce-back year. He was good last year, but not great. He was great 2 years ago. I think he has a bounce-back year. I think the running back Hampton was injured last year. He's going to have an enormous season this year. I think they play to their strengths because they have a very good coach, a good quarterback, a great running back, good receivers, and a good defense. I think the problem for Kansas City is Denver is very good. Denver's defense is elite. So could 3 teams get in the playoffs out of the West? Maybe. Maybe they do. But if you're telling me to pick 2, it would be the Chargers and the Broncos, not KC. And it has nothing to do with Mahomes. I don't, believe it or not, Jimmy, I don't trust the defense.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Chris Jones is good, but
he's not. He can't control the whole thing.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say about that Chargers team, McDaniel actually came out and he said between, I believe, is Kamani Vidal still there? He's still there, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Vidal. They said Keaton Mitchell and Omarion Hampton. Those are the 3 backs.
I heard the comment. It's a good comment.
He said he doesn't know who he's trusting. He said, I think all these backs are going to be very productive, but this is fantasy-wise. He said, I don't know. I think all these backs are going to be very productive, but I don't know who is going to produce the most for you if you were to draft one in fantasy. So he kind of told you, hey, in the real world, this backfield is going to be real good, but in fantasy, I don't really know
Right.
which one you
Yeah,
want to
and
touch.
you're right, Chris. He did say that, and he basically said week to week, it more or less, it's gonna be the hot hand and what the game plan is there.
Bullshit. It's a smokescreen. Hampton is a unbelievable back. He got hurt last year. That's the only reason we're not talking about him. He is right now. I bet you Hampton he's a top 10, but let's see. Running back Hampton right now. Oh, I lied. Hampton is where is he kind of he is oh no, he's right. He's running back 10. I was right.
I actually just apparently, I don't know how this happened, but midway into the show, I guess some league decided to start a draft. So my team is magically complete at this point, auto draft. But
What
you
where
wanna
are you
should
where are
we
you
should we
drafting?
hear how this is looking?
Yeah, where are you drafting? What's site
I'm
are you
on I'm on ESPN right now,
Okay.
but this is the auto drafted team that I did start. I started a little bit. I saw the text message a bit late, but this is what the team's looking like. Majority auto drafted. So at quarterback, we have Bo Nix. And we were just talking about that. So, okay. Judkins, who I did have last year as well. Pretty good.
Very good.
Monty. Believe it or not, I'm a big Joe Mixon guy. I think Joe Mixon's a very great running back. Off the field might be a whole different thing, but Joe Mixon, I think, is a really good running back. And the fact that he can't find an NFL spot and that he might have to retire, it's kind of
Somebody will sign him.
shocking to me.
Somebody will sign him.
Someone will sign him. Someone will sign Hunt if they haven't already.
JSN is my wide receiver 1. I got Garrett Wilson at 2.
Good.
Solid.
McBride at tight end. This is a
Solid.
12-man. So I don't even know how
So
this
you
is
got
happening.
tight end 1 right there.
Wide
You got
receiver
best
1.
tight end 1 or 1A because Bowers they're really toting.
Yeah, they're gonna go toe to toe. But I got JSN as well. So
Okay, very good.
Jameson Williams is my flex.
Okay.
And then
They're
towards
talking
the
about
end,
him breaking out.
I started to chip in a bit. I made sure I had to get that Texans defense.
Good.
100%. Kicker is Chris Boswell.
Oh, the Boz. He's kicking the night.
Bench is looking a little bit. Bench is looking a little bit rough. Not rough, a little bit rough. Xavier Worthy, Parker Washington, big on him.
Parker Washington's on it. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Kyle Benungai, big on him.
No, guys, could be good.
Keaton Mitchell, which we were just saying, but it's whatever. Jordan Mason, Jacoby Lane, who's been balling in camp, and then I have George Kittle as well for some trade value because someone's gonna want Kittle 100%.
Look, I have Kittle, but I don't think I'm going to keep him, Jimmy. I think he's going right back in the pool. My problem with Kittle is I just don't trust him from an injury standpoint.
Yeah, he had a Achilles.
This is a very good segue until how we will end the show with some fantasy stuff. So we got a question from one of our listeners who wants to know who are we targeting for each position, like early and late, because they're new to the draft. They want to make sure they know what they're doing. So we'll start with quarterback. From a quarterback, if you were going to draft a quarterback early in the draft, who are you targeting?
You want to go first, Chris?
Yeah, I'll go first. So early, obviously, there's the so-called, I believe it was Big Five, if I'm not mistaken. It was Lamar, there was Jaden, there was Jalen Hurts.
And you're missing the top one. You're missing the number 1.
Burrow.
Allen. Yeah. Those are your top 5. Yep.
Those are the top 5. Jimmy, were you same route?
I mean, listen, I typically target a quarterback farther down because usually the play, if you let them off the board first, there's always some really good value in those middle rounds, and you're going to get really good production out of it. If Dak stays healthy, to me, Dak's a home run this year. So I like Dak a lot, assuming that happens. You can get Patrick Mahomes way down the board, who we just talked about. If we think he's going to be any semblance of himself, he was a top pick before, and you can go down the board and pick him up. I don't hate the Bo Nix, who you just talked about, because he does have wheels. Yep. He'll get you rushing yards as well as passing yards. And even Trevor Lawrence is in that bottom half, who we didn't like at the beginning of last season, but we had to give him his flowers as it went on. So I just think there's a lot of value mid rounds that you don't have to.
Also, later on, later on as well, you could get Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You could get Justin Herbert pretty late always. Herbert really does always go pretty late. Herbert, I think, was around in the hundreds.
Jimmy,
So
who had Justin Herbert last year? Who won the league you're in? I'm just curious for Chris.
Drawing a blank.
That'd be me and me. Okay. So here's this is what I would tell you from a quarterback standpoint. If the board dictates and Josh Allen is there, I would take Josh Allen. If you cannot get Josh Allen, I would do exactly what they just said. I would wait, and I would take a Trevor Lawrence or a Dak Prescott. That's what I would do. I would not reach. And again, I love Joe Burrow, but unless it's the perfect spot and he falls to me at the right value, I wouldn't reach for Burrow. And a lot of people are reaching for Burrow. Just remember, Burrow is going to be very reliant on passing touchdowns. He doesn't scramble much. He has a great running back. The running back is going to get a lot of touchdowns as well. Brown is going to score. So
now, one question: what do you think about Baker Mayfield?
Well, where he's going in the draft, I love him. He's rated out at quarterback 19. He's in tier 4. I would scoop Baker late. I won't be able to do it in one of my drafts because Jimmy's probably going to keep him if he's allowed to. But yeah, I mean, where Baker's going, I would take him. He's a good value play. I think he's pissed off. But here's the thing where me and Jimmy disagree. I don't think he ends the season as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Really?
I don't.
Where does Baker go?
It's going to make you very upset when I tell you where I think he's going to finish. I think he's going to be a Viking.
I don't agree with that. You could be right.
I don't see
that.
You
don't have to agree with it. I think, is Kyler Murray, he's okay. Do I think he's going to get the Vikings to where they need to go? No, I don't. But I think they're going to be very good when they get Baker in there.
I've never heard that, actually. That's a pretty interesting take.
It's very interesting.
Wouldn't shock
but you
me at
think
all.
that they would really pay, or you think they'd have Kyler, JJ, and Baker all on the same picture?
I think it's great. I think the trade will be Baker for Kyler and a couple draft picks, and Tampa will do it. Tampa's cheap. Tampa's not going to pay him. Minnesota might. Look at what Minnesota did for Cousins. Minnesota backed the truck up for Cousins.
Well, I mean, the Bucks are looking to pay someone because they just turned down.
No, they're not. The Bucks don't pay anyone.
Well, Vita Vea wants to leave, and I'm pretty sure the whole reason that is for like
they don't want to pay him. They don't want to pay him.
They don't want to pay him, but I feel like they're looking to pay like a star. Like if they're gonna sit there and look at Vita Vea, who has done so much for them, and be like, "We are not paying you," there's got to be someone that they're willing to pay.
I hope they do, but I don't know if they will.
It's a good take because are they saving the money, Chris, for something?
From a running back standpoint, I would tell you the top 2 targets are for sure Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, and for me, it's Jonathan Taylor. We talked about this last year. I still think JT is the best running back in the game. I think everyone forgets how young he still is. I love JT. Any of those 3, if you can get them, take them. If you can't, then I'd probably wait a little bit. And down the board, I still love Scatterbo. I think he's going to be great. I think he's over the injury. And do not sleep on ETN as a Saint. I think he's going to score a lot of points in New Orleans.
Yeah, a lot. Where's K9? Where's K9 valued at?
He is
down the board.
He is down the board. Where is it? You got him, Jimmy?
No, I'm looking. I can't find him. I will tell you what I would think, and this isn't being just a homer, but I think Quinshon Judkins, where he's being ranked right now, he allegedly looks pretty strong. I think him being ranked after Travis Etienne and Dave Montgomery and Kyren Williams and all of these guys, I think that's wild based on how he looked last year. But I know he had bad injury.
Jimmy, is he ready to go week 1?
It sounds like he's going to be, yeah.
And that sounds great to me. That's like music to my ears, the way you just talked about Quinshon Judkins.
I mean, he's the one draftable player on the Browns.
Okay. I'm going to have a question for Chris in a minute. Wide receivers, who are you guys targeting? Like, who do you think is obviously? Look, again, for this question, I love the question, but there's some absolute obvious. If you can get Jamar Chase, JSN, Amaran. I think JJ is going to have a huge background. I would not draft Puka. I for some reason, I don't think he's going to put up the production of last year. So I think the other ones I just named will have bigger years. Those are my top 4: Jamar, JSN, Amaran, and JJ. If you have to go down the board, and I don't know what we're defining down the board, but if you're going to go way down the board, I still like Scary Terry. I really do. I know Diggs just signed, but I think that's only gonna help McLaurin.
Help him.
Yeah, I agree. I think after the 4 you named, which I agree with, I actually would drop to, even though I don't think they're going to be great this year, I would drop to A.J. Brown. I think he's happy. I think they're going to feed him the ball quite a bit.
Agree,
I think he has a big year. And then
A.J. Brown is ranked 11th.
Yeah, if we're going down the board, I think there's just, and I've said this before, I just think there's value all over the map. I think Cortland Sutton, way down the board,
You're a big Sutton guy. I don't hate him either. I get it. I don't hate him.
Sutton I like Sutton. Year, I'm not big on him.
I like Sutton.
Waddle, I think Waddle's really gonna just take that team over completely. Like I don't think.
I agree. I think he'll be. I think Waddle will be wide receiver 1. But to Jimmy's point, if you have to draft someone a little bit farther down the board, Sutton is not a bad second receiver on your team.
No.
He's very good. I think Ibuka has a big year. He started off the year gangbusters last year. Now Mike Evans is gone. I think that's a great place to look at. I know, Greg, you're big on him, but I've heard nothing but good about Burden out of Chicago. I just don't.
Burden's great.
Yeah.
I am huge on Burden.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to tell you.
Go ahead.
I know he's old, but I actually think the backups in this and Drew Aller might be okay. I would draft DK Metcalf or Michael Pittman Jr. One of them is going to be good.
I agree with you. I like Pittman. I like Godwin down the board. I think Jacoby Myers is one of the most underrated ones every year when it comes to fantasy. Don't hate him. I think Wan'Dale Robinson will be fantastic for the Titans. He had a great year last year for the Giants. I think he'll just keep it going in Tennessee.
Yeah, I think Carnell Tate could be the offensive rookie of the year there.
I don't hate that either.
Yeah, I love that actually.
And then tight end, it's so to me.
Don't reach. I hate the CPU, but McBride. I'm not gonna complain with McBride, but you're losing a very valuable position, and I feel like you should really, right off the rip of the draft, you should be always targeting running backs. Because if you wait too late for running backs, you're taking backup running backs. But there's more receiver depth than there is running back depth. So if you could go and grab a receiver very late, go and do that. But try and focus on the running backs around there, because you could be losing on some very high value for a Brock Bowers or a Trey McBride, which you could make up later on. I don't know where Tucker Kraft is going, but I'm huge on Tucker Kraft after last year. Laporta, always a great pick. Likely maybe even this year. I know he's going very low. So
I'll tell you, Dalton Schultz mid-round, I think, is a great pickup. CJ Stroud couldn't play the position of quarterback at the end of the year, but when he could play it a little bit, he loves the target. Dalton Schultz had some big games. I think as a late round guy, could be your starter. If you choose to take one real late, could be a good backup. I think that's a great pick. But to me, yeah, there's a clear-cut top 10, and then everything else after that's a roll of the dice. Goddard, we've talked about Goddard. Jalen Hurts loves Goddard. Also a great pickup late.
It's
Jake Ferguson as well.
Another good take. I think you nailed it for tight end. If you can get McBride or Bowers in the right spot, I would take. After that, Chris nailed it. Tucker Kraft sitting in tier 2 is just sitting there waiting to be plucked. He's going to have an enormous year if he stays healthy. I loved Fannin from the Browns, as Jimmy knows.
Yeah, I did have Fannin last year. He was great. Oh,
everybody
Tyler Warren as well.
Yeah, but the problem now is everybody knows about him, so the value isn't there anymore. So down the board, yeah, a Kincaid, a Ferguson, likely, like you said, I could do.
But hear me out.
Don't sleep on the Stranger. I love the Stranger out there in Jacksonville. He is a good tight end. You can get him very late.
Brenton Strange.
Yes.
Yeah. But now here's the real question that everyone's waiting for. Is it Kyle Pitts' year this year? Is this really Kyle Pitts' year? We've heard it.
He had a great year last year. He's on Jimmy's team.
Years.
Chris, he's on
He is.
Jimmy's
We
team.
picked him up off the waivers. Look, he had a very good second half. I watched it. I don't know how much I trust him. I watched enough of his games that he had good games. He still bobbles the ball when he catches it a lot,
Yes.
though, and he pulls it in. Like he doesn't catch the ball clean. It's amazing to me for a guy that was so highly touted coming out of college, and he went wildly high in the real NFL draft for a tight end that he doesn't have sure hands, but he's a hell of an athlete. He started to come on strong. Here's the problem: who's going to throw him the goddamn ball in Atlanta? Like, right? Probably for as long as he can stay upright, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to Penix, and he's going to throw him the ball as long as he can stay upright. And then who's going to throw him the ball?
It's true. It's a good point.
Yeah, that is very true. But what I will say is going down isn't as big as you would think, because now this is a lefty, like getting used to a lefty from a righty throw, but now you have two lefties on the depth chart. So now it's like you don't really have to, like from when Kirk and Penix alternated, you could see like London, Mooney, all these people were like bobbling it because it's coming in a different way. Like you have to get used to that. But Tua goes down, you got another lefty on the depth chart. And one thing about the tight ends I forgot, who I really am high on, and I took him last year, and he kind of effed me over at the beginning. I dropped him to the waiver wire. He became a beast. Colston Loveland. Wherever he is, please go and get him. He's going to be amazing.
Another Michigan guy.
He's another guy that the word's out on. He's a top. He's literally tier 1. He's a third tight end off the board in most drafts at this point. We got another question. So I'm going to answer this the best I can, and then, Jimmy, I'll throw it to you. The question was, you guys keep saying this all the time, especially Greg. You say it every time we talk about fantasy drafts. What does play the board mean? So to me, what play the board means, it's twofold. It's always look for value. So if there's someone there and it makes sense to draft them, draft them. If everyone's going one way and they're leaving someone there in a different position, like for me, I'll give you the best example I can give you. There was a wide receiver run in a draft I was in where people were just picking off wide receivers, and they left Trey McBride there. So in the third round, Trey McBride was still sitting there. And I said, you know what? Why am I going to take wide receiver or running back 15 and 20 when I can get tight end 1 or 2? So I took tight end 1 or 2, and I drafted Trey McBride. The other part of that is, in my opinion, is if you see an absolute run where you have to jump in, where like the dopey league I play in with Jimmy, they're going to all draft quarterbacks, Chris, in the first round because it's a super flex league and they overvalue quarterbacks. So I'm going to have to draft a quarterback in 1 or 2. So that's why what I mean by draft, follow the board. You got to play the board, meaning they're going to start ripping quarterbacks. So if you don't draft one in round 1 or 2, you're going to lose everything. You're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball. What does it mean to you, Jimmy?
Yeah, to me, it means the same thing. There's on the other side of that computer, there's real people drafting that are making mistakes, and you take advantage of it, and that's what play the board means. Because that's
Jimmy. That's an awesome take. That is the correct answer.
Right, and that's it, right? So this receiver goes, they have 2 receivers targeted, they're 4 picks away, they both get taken, they get nervous, so they take another receiver, and they're overvaluing them, and all of a sudden, you're in pick 15, and the 7th best player on the board is still available. You're crazy not to take them, so adjust your strategy, right? There are people that are actively making decisions based on emotion, based on being nervous, whatever the case is. Don't be that guy. Make the right call. You can adjust your team later. There's free agency, there's trades. So don't get married to a position you're drafting. Get married to value. And
I'll tell you that. Can I tell you this? Don't be the guy who drafts someone who's injured. Pay attention to injuries. I was in a league one. Jimmy, you were in this league. I don't know if you remember. This was years ago. But me and Jimmy were in a league, and it was like round 14, and someone literally typed in the chat, "I can't believe no one drafted him," and they drafted Megatron. He retired.
Yeah. Yeah, you can draft
what's going on.
That is terrible, but
pretty bad.
Shouldn't have been on the board.
Shouldn't have been on the board, but he was there.
That is so bad. I actually had someone draft Tom Brady, and they genuinely thought Tom Brady was still there. But long story short, they try to lie, talk about I brought him in for team morale. He took him in the 5th round. But what I will say this year, because now it's even harder, or it's more likely to mess this up, make sure it's Bijan Robinson and Brian Robinson Jr. They are on the same team now. If you make that mistake, you will screw yourself for the whole year. Because
Really good.
what is Bijan 2 coming off the board? If you just take the B Robinson that's there, don't type it. Don't try and just take him right there.
That's a very funny and great point, Chris.
That's an awesome take.
Well played.
Well played. Very well played. I didn't even think of that, but if you took Robinson and took the wrong,
because I've had a couple people down the line talking about how is Bijan still here? And they click it and they see Brian Robinson Jr. across the.
That's fantastic.
Hey, I drafted B Robinson 1. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You drafted the wrong
and they turn the phone and you're like, when did you take this guy? He's like, oh, what, the 1-2. Well, your whole season's over. Long story short.
What an awesome take. You know what, Jimmy? I didn't pick up on that. Chris, that's an awesome take.
Great take.
Thank you.
All right, boys, let's close it out. Jimmy, what do you got for us? Final take.
Hey, preseason is officially kicking off. It's fantastic. Football's almost back. It's unbelievable how fast it goes by. We're looking forward to a great season. Someone's going to shock us. We're right about something. We're wrong about something. I'm more interested to find out what we're wrong about than what we're right about. So let's go.
Chris, what do you got for us to end us here?
To end this, just like Jimmy said, football is around the corner. NBA is around the corner. WNBA, if you follow it, coming close to an end. But what I'm most excited about is prove this word right here on this show. Jaden Daniels MVP season loading. That's how I'm going to leave it.
I love it.
So let me say this too. Thank you, Chris, for joining the show. You've been a great addition. It was exciting. You're a welcome guest anytime.
I agree.
Thank you,
Chris, and you got to come back. Definitely come back. I look, you're gonna have an awesome time at St. John's. I can't wait till you come back and we can get into the gambling aspect a little bit more and how like your generation views these apps and how easy it is to gamble. I can't wait to get into that when you join us again. Hopefully, it's next week.
Of course, I'll 100% be back.
Beautiful. Chris will be a welcome addition to the show. We'll get a nice youthful take on everything that me and Jimmy give you. Look, I'm extremely excited for NFL. Again, it's right around the corner. Chris, I'll leave you with this. Get on campus. Get to my boy Rick Pitino because I'm a Kentucky Wildcat fan. Make friends with him. Get him on the show with you. We'll leave you with that.
Of course.
See you next week. Never forget this, everybody. Joe Burrow, light years ahead of Jaden Daniels.